Coming to you live from the planet Devtopia. It's Rob has the podcast, and now here's a guy who's always digging his own grave, bro. Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live Big Brother 16 recap, live on a Wednesday night, July 9th, after the 7th episode of this crazy and wonderful Big Brother 16 season. Here with me tonight is a man who's been following it all. I don't think he slept in easily, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago from tonight that the season started. Here is Mr. Brian Lynch. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I never sleep, but I am a little bit scared about being on planet Devtopia.
Yes. Oh my God. Devtopia is a very scary place to be. It's a dictatorship on the planet Devtopia run by an evil dictator. And if you cross him, then you are in trouble.
Yeah, you're really in trouble when you tell him something that he doesn't want to hear.
Yes. Well, big mistake by Zach tonight, telling Devin something that he did not want to hear. Frankie probably put that pretty well. We have a lot to talk about, and especially on both the TV show and on the live feeds. Brian, the live feeds have just been absolutely insane through all this, and we're not going to talk about it yet. But boy, I was saying, like, I remember in Big Brother 14, the 8 days or so there were live feeds when Willie Hantz was in the house was insane. And this is almost like now we've gone on now, I guess, 2 weeks from tomorrow night. That's how long the feeds have been up?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's just been like all this craziness, all because of Devin.
Yes. I mean, the feeds really kicked off. Like what they said at the end of the show, all hell will break loose. That is exactly what happens. All hell breaks loose. And right after that veto, and it hasn't really stopped.
Yeah. All right. Well, God bless Devin. God bless the planet Devtopia, because I do think that we will hit a point in this season where Devin is going to be gone, and we're going to say, oh, it got a little boring now. Got a little boring. Like, maybe it'll only be for a couple days, but there will be a point where Devin will be gone. It will be soon, and we'll be talking about how things are. Oh man, remember when Devin was still in the house and things were so crazy all the time?
I never complain about it really getting boring when somebody
you're
like that
different.
Leaves, so.
By comparison to what's going on right this past week and over basically since the 4th of July, it's really been fantastic.
Oh, it has been insane. I mean, there's no sleep time in this house. You know,
yeah.
there is not any hour of any day that I've watched feeds that everybody has been asleep.
Yeah. I know they stay up all night. It's been fun stuff. Okay, so we're going to get into everything, first from the TV show, and then we'll try to make sense of everything from the live feeds. And then Brian will give us some predictions on what is going to happen tomorrow night, because, it's been a house in flux all week long, basically since the veto ceremony. So we'll talk about all that. Just a couple of programming notes. We were supposed to be joined by Cara Monaco tonight. Cara couldn't end up making it tonight. She wants to come on next Wednesday night, so we will have Cara Monaco 1 week from tonight. To make up for it, we will have 2 Big Brother guests tomorrow night, as we are always joined by Ian Terry on a Thursday night. But this week we'll be joined by his Reality Game Masters cohort, Matt Hoffman, will be joining us as well on a jam-packed Thursday night here on Rob Has a Podcast.
Amazing. You know I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be very, very fun. And of course, we have our big, exciting show that is coming up 1 week from Sunday night on July 20th, 2014, when I will be live at the Hollywood Improv with Brendan and Rachel to talk about everything that happens on Big Brother up until that point, and that's going to be a really, really fun interview. Hope you can join us live if you're in the Los Angeles area. Tickets are $10 a person. If you want to join us, it's going to be a fun show. We'll try to get a stream going on that night as well, like we did with the Rob Has a Podcast roast. Also, it's at 7:30 p.m. on Pacific time. So it's actually going to be before the Big Brother episode airs. So I created a Facebook group, which if you want to talk to the other people that are going, and I'll try to also get a link to an East Coast feed for that night as well. You can do that. I have to set up the link, but after the show, I will do it. It will be robhasawebsite.com/BrenschelFB for Facebook. So that's going to be really, really fun night. If you want tickets or ticket information, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/RHAP live, RHAP live, for information for that Sunday night show. They've updated the house rules there. No floaters will be admitted on Sunday, July 20th at the Hollywood Improv, Brian.
Well, I would figure that would be standard for anything Brenchel related. You are flying me out to California, right?
Oh my God! All right, well we'll talk after the show. All right, so let's get into it, and let's talk about such a wild night where, I mean, basically, how many swings have there been in what Devin wants to do in the short amount of time that he's been in power? Just to recap from where we were on Sunday night when he took over. So, you know, basically that he came in and we had this plan. We had to get Brittany out. She was the biggest threat in the house.
Right. He's taken so many swings. He's the strikeout king of the season.
Yeah. He's like modern day Mark McGwire. He's gonna hit some long balls, and then he's also gonna strike out a lot. Maybe that was his problem in baseball, that the K rate was too high.
Yeah. So what is his? I don't understand his logic on half the stuff he's doing. He's just all over the place. He'll 1 second he'll tell the DR one thing, and then the next in the next scene he's changed his mind and he'll just change what he says. Yeah, that's what he does. So he wanted, Brittany out. That was the biggest thing. He came up with the whole plan of that we're going to get Pow Pow to throw the competition because Brittany is the biggest threat in the house. Got to get out Brittany. So we need Paola to throw the competition. Basically, he had to rig that whole thing, and then we're going to bring in Nicole and Hayden and tell them how much we love them, and that's all in the Sunday night show. So he gets what he wants, and then Amber is off. And then it's all set up here now for Brittany, but then he starts. So then he broke up with the bomb squad with Caleb, and then in sort of the healing process of that, it ends up coming up that Caleb says that there are some people in the bomb squad who want you out, and then from that healing process, we have another house meeting, and then in that house meeting, Zach speaks up. Then we have Devin starts to realize that, you know what, maybe Brittany is not the biggest threat in the house. Maybe I should be best friends with her, and I will tell her, I'll take her off the block, and then I'm going to put somebody from my own alliance up on the block, and then have two people at the same time that I promised I was going to take off with the veto, but then only can have one. So, and then we get to the point where we are now, where we're about to see a big explosion. Brian, did you like how the show handled it, where they sort of did, Brittany said, hey, I have something to say, and then we had the record scratch and a cliffhanger? Yeah, well, that's traditionally where it cuts, right? When it's, the meeting's over, the episode is over, we go on. So, I mean, they obviously had to cut it right there based off of what, if she had just got up and walked away, they might not have done. But it's a good plug for the next episode. All hell will break loose, Rob.
I know all hell will break loose, but I just feel like the way that the shows break down, I almost feel like Big Brother is broken in that, you have basically in the formatting of the show, that this is what I think is broken. Okay, so the show that's on Sunday takes place basically in 24 hours, right? I mean, when do they do the Battle of the Block? On Saturday, typically?
No, they did that Thursday night.
Okay,
Friday morning.
Okay, so basically the episode that we saw on Sunday was approximately 12 hours of footage.
Yes, I mean a very short amount of time.
Very short amount of time. So then the episode we saw tonight, the Wednesday episode, was then from Friday morning up until early in the day Monday.
Sometime Monday. Yes.
Early in the day Monday, okay? And then the biggest amount of time from the week, basically from early in the day Monday up until 5 p.m. on Thursday, the half of the week is basically we'll have, 20 minutes of that. And yes, there's pieces that they'll show out of order, but I just feel like that there's, on a week like this, when there's so much going on the feeds, I don't know how they're going to possibly fit this entire story of this week into 20 minutes on Thursday night.
Oh yeah, I mean there were things in this episode that were not accurate at all. I mean Caleb, when he was telling Devin about the people coming after him, Caleb did throw Zach under the bus. But since they didn't show that, and they kind of like led you to believe that Zach was the one that threw himself under the bus by admitting it. But by not concentrating on that part of the storyline, production's able to keep Frankie's involvement in it out of it. So maybe it's just for good editing purposes for Frankie that wasn't covered.
Okay. Let's talk through the episode, and then you tell us the things that were different than they actually appeared on the TV show as we go along, okay?
All right, we'll try.
Okay. All right, so the episode starts with Devin really patting himself on the back. He calls himself, hey, I'm the Puppet Master. They put the Puppet Master hashtag on the screen. Is Devin the Puppet Master of the Big Brother house?
God, no. He doesn't even understand the history of the term Puppet Master in the game of Big Brother. He has no clue. He shouldn't be. I mean, they should show him saying that because no. I mean, even in no. They shouldn't even show him saying that. That's disrespectful to the game.
Yeah, Jim Henson, he is not Devin, and I won't even talk about who would be the dummy if we're talking about puppets, but the BB Puppet Master I just felt like was quite an ironic hashtag.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to know as a person, like you need to look inside and tell yourself, like you can't be giving yourself these titles and expecting everybody else to believe it and not look like a dumbass.
Yeah. We are getting a lot of love on the TV show for the Weirdo Alliance of Christine and Hayden and Nicole. They are doing basically where every week, something good happens to them, and then they go to the storage room, and we see them dancing in the storage room every week. I think that editing is really, they're loving the Weirdo Alliance.
Yeah, I think they've called themselves Trinity or something. Is like an alliance name they've come up with. I don't think it's sticking because I don't really hear it that much. It's a pretty awful name, really.
Yeah.
It's like it's against your numbers rule.
Yes. Bad job by the Trinity. Unless is it a Matrix reference?
I have no idea what kind of reference it is. I heard it and I was like, I didn't even want to follow up on it.
Okay, so one of the funniest parts in the episode were, after we have all of the stuff from, all of the fallout in the beginning of the episode with the Battle of the Block fallout. Caleb with Amber talking about how oh man, I just want to give you a hug. I feel so. Is that why he wants to give her a hug? Because she's not the HOH anymore.
I don't. I don't know why Caleb wants to give Amber a hug.
Oh, I know why.
Why? Why?
Because that's physical contact.
Yeah, he's down with physical contact with Amber. I agree.
All right, so one of the funniest and most weird parts of the episode were Devin's weird hug with Hayden, and he was like grabbing Hayden. He's like, "Hey, bro, don't worry, man. We're in it to the end. I'm putting cash in your pocket. You're taking this thing all the way." And Hayden thought maybe Devin was going to put his tongue in his ear.
Yeah, and this is important too because it kind of shows you now the level of distrust that Hayden has for Devin, and how intimidated he feels around him, right? And it's not just the girls that feel intimidated by Devin. It's like everybody except maybe Zach, obviously.
Yeah, but he says, I've never heard anybody say that. I'm putting cash in your pocket.
Yeah, but I just keep coming back like Hayden was like, yeah, but he's putting tongue in my ear.
Yeah. All right. So And then it was also funny in that moment when Paola was coming by with Devin talking about how, like, oh man, like I had to throw the challenge. I could have destroyed that challenge.
Yes, admitting to Hayden that she threw the challenge. Whether she did or not, we've debated this. Maybe it was a bit of both, like she wasn't to begin with, but then felt the pressure and did, or however it came about. In the house, she tells Hayden at that moment that she threw the competition.
Yeah. Hayden and Nicole are also they're working out their stuff. I thought that was very funny when Hayden asked Nicole if they could kiss it out.
And she's like, no!
No, come on, Nicole, please. It must be something about Nicole's. So it was also funny when the bomb squad minus Devin is meeting, talking about who they want to go home. And we see a consensus that most of the people want Brittany to stay. And Zach sort of sums up the bomb squad as the supporters of Devin, aka the idiots, or the people that are against Devin.
Yeah, they agreed, number one, that the person they wanted gone most was Devin. All of them agreed that.
Yeah. And again, we debated whether or not it was a good idea for the bomb squad to be getting rid of Devin this early in the house. I wonder if he just has to go at this point. I'll be surprised if he lasts more than next week.
I mean, he's going to have to win veto. I mean, they're going to backdoor him.
Yeah,
There's no other option on the table. No one's mentioned anything other than backdooring him.
I mean, can you see a scenario next week where Devin doesn't go home?
Yes, there are several people in the house that feel like Caleb is a bigger threat than Devin.
Like who?
Specifically, Cody being one of the people that I figured might be able to win an HOH. So if he ends up being an HOH, I figure he'd go after Cody.
Boy, the house would explode. I don't know how many more weeks we could all go and have Devin in the house. I feel like at some point, I just think we're going to get to that scenario where it looks bad for him, and then he's just going to have some sort of self-destruction.
Yeah, Devin talks on the feeds about Zach being the cancer that needs to be cut out, but really he's the cancer that needs to be cut out of the alliance because he just makes everything impossible. You can't work with him.
Yeah, no, he's impossible to deal with. He's absolutely fantastic for TV, and I want Devin to basically go all the way to the final two. If I had a vote, if it was an America's Choice thing, I would never vote him out. But just as far as the game goes, they can't keep playing the game with him. Like everybody has to realize sooner or later that you gotta get rid of this guy.
Yeah, and you see it in these conversations. Like a whole bunch of people have been saying even like Devin's closest allies. We got to get rid of Devin.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have this whole thing that played out in the backyard. I guess it was the night of was it the 4th of July night where Caleb and Amber were having all the flirtations. I mean, I'm Superman, I'm Superwoman. Amber said, I'll blow you a kiss. And Caleb got all excited about that. And Devin is like, look, man, he was, complaining to Frankie, it's detrimental to the team, bro, that, she's toying with his emotions. You don't mix business and pleasure.
Yeah, and he's like, this is not going to happen on my watch. And it's kind of like the same overreaction that he had with Donnie telling the prostitute joke. It's like, dude, he's got to go. So, like, in a minute, Caleb went from being his closest ally to being his biggest enemy immediately. I mean, you can't deal with this guy.
Yeah. No, he's so super unstable. Super unstable.
I do have some sympathy for what he was saying about him being accused of being mean to women, like blowing things up. Obviously he don't want to be seen like that,
Yeah. Now, do you think that he does do that?
Being mean to women, he's very intimidating. There is no doubt about it. Very intimidating. The women feel more intimidated by him than the men do, but the men are just as intimidated. So I have not seen him like personally attack women.
Well, they should be intimidated. Look what happened to Zach.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, especially if you're aligned with him. I mean, like, if you're... Look, you feel safer with Devin if you're not in an alliance with him at this point in the house.
Yeah. No, I find this about with a lot of the, crazy, short-tempered people that I have dealt with in my life, that if they sense that you're walking on eggshells or you're trying to not make them angry, sometimes that makes them angry. It can be very stressful.
And another thing I saw in that fight, Devin was Caleb was remaining calm, talking to him about this, and Devin was like, "Oh, well, now you're getting mad," and he was the one being mad.
Yeah,
that's what he does. He blames you for his issues.
So, and there are a lot of them. So, Amber, she tells Caleb about how, Devin doesn't let me talk, and Christine saying, Devin is scary, and Caleb's like, home fried, this isn't gonna work in my alliance. So he tells him hey, girls are scared of you, bro, and Devin flipping out dude, well, you're over there talking to Amber, and you're whatever, bro, you're a love-struck puppy.
Yeah, and then he leaves. And what is that thing? Is went upstairs to give himself a pep talk about going back down and ending the alliance immediately because.
Whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. You're a love-struck puppy, dude. Whatever. And he got himself all pumped up, and then he went downstairs and told Caleb, "There's no more alliance, bro. We're done. It's over. That's it."
Yeah, and so one thing I did notice, I kind of felt like there was more people out there at that time, so it really wasn't an issue about them kind of letting the cat out of the bag with the bomb squad at that point to other people. They were just inside staring at them on the outside saying, what the hell is going on with Devin? Which is a common statement that's made every 5 minutes.
Was Jocasta out there? I felt like that was what I had heard, that they thought Jocasta was out there.
Yeah, so Jocasta was inside watching it go down.
Got it.
She knew that there was a fight, but she didn't know what it was about.
All right, so basically, Bomb Squad is over as of 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. We find out who Team America players number 2 and 3 are. We sort of basically we're gonna have one a week. Joey was gone, so we get now Derek and Frankie in Team America. Were you excited to see these two guys get into Team America?
Derek and Frankie, yes.
Yes.
No. Derek and Donnie, yes. Not Frankie. I'm not excited about Frankie at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk more about your turnabout of your feelings for Frankie as we get more into the live feeds. So these three people are working together. Did you like the bald eagle American pie or apple pie sequence?
I'll tell you about that. I saw that on the feeds, and the one thing that stuck out to me was Caleb talking about the bald eagles dragging the goats off the cliffs and dropping them to their deaths. I actually watched that video, and it is horrifying. It is actually horrifying.
Caleb's talking about a YouTube video, and then you looked at it?
Yeah. These bald eagles swoop down and grab these goats and and then they fall hundreds and hundreds of feet and just splat, and then they fly down and eat them.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize that was going on, that during that there was an actual hookup of Team America. It was just later on when they got back together in one of the other rooms of the house when they started talking about it. That's when everybody knew that they were all Team America.
Can you turn that into a Big Brother metaphor?
What?
Who's the bald eagle? Who's the bald eagle and who's the goat?
Derek is the bald eagle in the house.
And who's the goat?
Right now it's got to be Paula.
Oh, poor Paula. Okay, so we end up getting to the veto competition, and we have Zach and Derek and Amber are going to be in the veto competition. So the bomb squad will be heavily represented in the veto competition. So we end up having Caleb and Devin apologize, and Devin tells Caleb, "Do you know what set me off, bro? It was when he said that he doesn't let the women talk." And that really upset Devin, because you know why, Brian?
Because he has a daughter and integrity.
Yes! And that's, if you have a daughter, that really will hurt your feelings if people tell you don't let the women in the alliance talk.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're using this against Devin in the house, which I think is a very inappropriate thing to do, is to make up things like you're afraid that he's going to attack you in the middle of the night. If anybody should be afraid that Devin's going to attack them in the middle of the night, it should be Donnie. He's been woken up twice in the middle of the night to hear like all these crazy things that's just going down, and Donnie wants to just sleep and chill out.
Oh my God. Oh man. I hope that do I have to worry about Devin coming in the middle of the night at any point?
Well, I mean, if he does, you'll wake up and he'll be in your face like, "Hey, bro."
Yeah. Hey, bro. I heard you've been saying a lot of things about me on the podcast, and I have integrity, and it really makes me mad. Whoa. Hey. Devin, let me just say, I totally can understand how you feel. I, too, am a parent. I was like, oh, okay, bro.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
All good. It's all good. Get out of jail free card, bro.
Even like if you're not a parent, you should go with that. Say,
yeah.
Hey,
well,
I totally wanted you to win this game. You're a parent, bro, and you have integrity and a daughter.
Yeah, well, that's why I tweeted that Zach should have told Devin that he has a kid, and he doesn't have a good relationship, and he needs to try to repair that.
Oh no! Zach was no. And this whole notion that Devin's trying to put in the diary room that he was never going to go after Zach is crap.
Oh,
I mean,
of course.
Caleb threw him under the bus. Frankie swooped in there and like helped it, And Frankie was doing stuff like, "Hey, Zach is a misogynist and a chauvinist, and he's been saying stuff like he made up this thing about, oh well, Zach said he was going to slap Victoria in the face." And so so of course Zach is a misogynist because he wants to beat women, and that story has been twisted around so many times. It's like he wanted to rip out her tongue, her eyeballs, and beat her up, and all sorts of stuff's been said in the house about Zach that's untrue because of Frankie.
Okay. Well, we end up with this big meeting. Okay, so again, Devin has a meeting with the group because Caleb ends up saying to him about how, Caleb says basically, I got your back. Other people were saying different, but I'll never put you up. And then it turned into, well, who was saying that? And then Caleb's just like, everybody said it. And Devin's like, well, okay, bro, house meeting. We got to work this out. And it's like, all right, so now house meeting time. Did that happen? Did that go down like we saw it on the show?
Well, no. I mean, after he said everybody, Devin started listing names. And when they got to Zach, he didn't say Zach, but he kind of confirmed it. So at that point, Devin thought, oh, well, Zach wants me out. He's the one that's been, in his mind, Zach's the guy that made everybody want him out, and Caleb confirmed it for him.
Okay, so we get this big meeting, and so Devin basically lines her with, okay, bros, time for the meeting. Everybody put on your big brother face. This isn't a one-person dictatorship, and what I mean by that is that this is a one-person dictatorship, bro. And it's not, and so he ends up saying, like, I've been hearing a lot of things, and I just want to get it out there. And so, does anybody have anything to say? And nobody is talking. None of the women are talking. And again, just like before, when we found out that the women don't want to talk when Devin's around, that they don't want to talk while he's around because he seems pissed.
And then he gets mad because no one wants to talk at him, and he starts yelling at everybody else. It's like, why don't, y'all tell me that they say these things when they're not around, but when they're around, they won't say it to my face, so what's the problem?
Now, you know that we are Zach fans, but I gotta question some of Zach's wisdom here this week, especially, throughout this episode. for Zach to blurt out, look, Pow is the weakest player I've ever seen, but Brittany, I like her more, so I want to keep her. Like, that was not good gameplay at all.
Obviously not.
Yes.
You don't tell rule number 1, you don't tell Devin things he don't want to hear.
Right. So, and also what he's saying also does not make sense from a gameplay standpoint. Of if Pow is the weakest player I've ever seen, we should be voting Brittany out.
Yeah, I think all of this stems from people were getting scared about maybe ending up on the block against Paula, right? So it's like a death sentence. It was starting to be viewed as like, if you don't want to go up on the block against her because she's going to be up every week, and that means you're just going to go home. So let's get her out.
Okay. So then Devin starts asking the group, okay, who said they want me out? Because if one of us goes home, it's going to crumble. And I've been saying from the start, if you guys go against me, then the whole thing is over. So who said they wanted me out?
The thing that was left out of that scene was while he was saying all of that, he was staring at Cody, and Cody put him on blast. He was like, "What, bro? You threatening me?" And he was like, "No, man, no, man." And so, like, Devin backed off because Cody put him in his place.
Okay, so then Devin and Zach, they get to talk, and Devin asks Zach, so you're one of the people who said you wanted me out? And Zach says, yes.
Which
and
is
Devin,
a no-no. Deny.
Devin says, Zach is the weak link of the bomb squad, which is probably not accurate.
No, but it's going to be hard for him to see that because he doesn't view himself as the bomb. He views himself as the squad.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we have a Team America vote also to talk about, Brian. What do we want Team America to work on? A, do we want Team America to get 2 house guests to kiss and then tell the house that they're in a showmance? Or B, yes, you want that already? You want that?
Yeah, well, go ahead with B. I'm sorry.
Or B, do we want Team America to convince the house that one of the house guests is related to a past house guest?
Yes, I want A because there's a possibility that Zach's going to get accused of being like Amanda's relative or something. As people already been saying that stuff. Like, I don't know that he looks like Amanda. I don't know that would get in his head. I just worry. I know Zach's not going to. Maybe he would try to kiss somebody like Victoria.
Okay, yeah, I think that I do think that Zach seems like an easy target to get him. Whether it's like you're gonna say, oh, is he related? This is Dan Giesling's cousin, or this is Amanda's, nephew, or what? God knows what they're gonna do. But yeah, I definitely could see Zach getting burned on this. So I think RHAP. Rob has a planet. That's one of the planets in the Big Brother solar system. I think that we should officially endorse A. Kiss and showmance, I think.
I think so. I mean, you have to look at it as like, what's the better thing for my favorite to get screwed over with? And I think maybe maybe they just fail. Like if they get A.
Like, I don't know. How would Team America get 2 people to kiss?
Get 2 house guests to kiss and spread rumors. Like, you can get somebody to kiss somebody rather easily, actually. All you have to do is frame it as like something fun. We're having fun. We're playing around, and it's not about kissing. And then they kiss, and then A is like you go make it more than it is. You say, oh, so-and-so kissed, and they got the thing for each other. We were all out there and saw it. You know, you asked so-and-so. He saw it.
It's like, oh, my God. Jocasta and Cody. Have you guys seen this?
They will not be getting Jocasta to kiss anybody.
Jocasta and God. Oh my God! I think they have a showmance.
Jocasta and God sitting in a tree. Ing.
I think so. Okay, so we get the power of veto, where Devin, before the power of veto, tells Pow, hey pal, if I get the veto, I'm using it on you. You're what? Come on, Devin. The guy makes his own mess.
Yeah, and he's telling like his enemy at this point is Zach, and Zach's the one that overhears him. This is complete lack of situational awareness by Devin, but I don't think that should surprise you. If there's any facet of his game you can criticize, I'm sure he's probably going to be on the lower end of every one of them.
Brian, what was your favorite of the planets that were in the veto competition?
I didn't even think. I mean, my mind went blank when I heard Devtopia. I don't even know what the planets were. I mean, that's just insane. He wants a planet, Rob.
Yeah.
I guess you want a planet too. He's trying to steal your game.
No. Devtopia is a much. Nothing can escape the gravity of Devtopia.
Trying to escape the gravity of Devtopia.
Nothing can escape the gravity of Devtopia. So, Brian, have we seen this competition before on U.S. Big Brother?
I know was thinking about that. We've seen it on Canada. We've seen it on Canada.
They did it on Big Brother Canada, right?
I believe they've done it in the U.S. as well.
Right. Heather won this on Big Brother Canada, right?
I feel like Jeremy was in a competition that did real well or something.
Okay. All right. But this was a fun twist on it. I know we had the Chilltown planet. I know we had a Brenchel planet. We had a McCranda planet. We had a Brigade planet. I didn't catch any of the other names.
Yeah, there was this one moment on the feeds where Derek said he said that there was a moment when I just wanted to drop kick Brenchel, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Derek's evil bitch."
So a couple of funny things from the challenge. So Frankie wants to decorate his house like that. He just wants all balls floating in his house.
That's not surprising. Floater balls.
So also, I thought it was a funny moment when Devin ripped his pants also of his astronaut outfit.
Yeah, well, he just said I ripped my pants. I didn't see the rip though. Did they show the rip?
You heard it. I wonder if that was sound effect.
It had to be sound effects. They're gaudy with sound effects, Rob. You know that.
Yes. All right. So Devin ends up winning the competition. It looked like Derek had it, but Devin wins, and so he wins the veto. And Zach tries to come and do damage control, and is like, "Hey man, that was awesome. Better you than me, right?"
Yeah, and so Devin's like, "So who are you voting to stay?" And he's like, "I vote however you want," which is I didn't know that was something that Devin didn't want to hear at that moment. But see, what it was at that point he was putting Zach up no matter what. No matter what Zach said, it was going to be the wrong thing for Zach to say. So I think if that's the point where you got to stop criticizing Zach's game.
Yes.
It was stupid. Everything he said to get himself into trouble at that point on. From that point, he started playing a little bit better, I think.
So Devin is being Devin won't even look at him in the face. Like Zach's talking to him, and Devin's like, "Yeah, okay, who you putting up, bro?" He was like 90 degrees away from him, like is not even looking at him.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange to see Devin intimidated by someone, but Zach has his number.
Yeah, Devin really just has, of the many flaws in Devin's game, really no poker face is also a big problem for Devin.
He's got some faces. He stares out into the whatever it is. You just catch him staring for minutes at a time, and it's just strange.
Yeah. He tells him basically, I don't trust you, man. I don't trust you. And Zach's like, hey, can we talk it out? He's like, no, it's too late for that. We can't talk it out.
And then he sends him away. And that's another thing that you don't do is tell somebody you don't trust them.
Yeah,
but see, he knows Zach is leaving already. He knows it in his mind. Zach is going, so he doesn't care.
Right. And what day is this? Monday?
Yeah. No,
Sunday.
Sunday, yes.
Yeah. And really, the key part of the back door is the part where you don't tell the person they're getting backdoored.
Yeah, and but see, that's what gets me is this whole revisionism that's taking place in the DR with him saying, "Well, I wasn't going to go after him until then." So, I mean, that's what he's claiming. But I think like right before that, on in the DR, he said, "I'm definitely going after Zach."
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that where Zach and Devin have the conversation in the living room. So Zach and Frankie. Zach basically is confiding in Frankie, and Frankie's like, "Well, why did you tell him the truth?" And Zach's like, I trust you more than anybody. Don't F me over.
Yeah, and by this time, Frankie's already been throwing Zach under the bus. So, like his words are kind of shallow at this point.
So Frankie's like, don't tell Devin the truth. Frankie makes good points, though. There's a crazy person in the house. Why did you stand up to him?
I mean, okay. You can think about this two ways. Yes, it put a big, huge target on his back, and most likely is going to send him home at this point. However, you are seen as the guy standing up to the guy that everybody's afraid of, which can be beneficial to you in the game.
Yeah, but in hindsight, probably not a good move on Zach's part. Like Frankie, I think that we could talk about how Frankie handled the Zach thing once it happened, but I think that fundamentally though Frankie has the right thing of that he said it last week with the why were you being honest? And I think he's right about that there's no reason, it's reckless to be honest to that degree.
Yeah, and of course Zach realized it. He was already talking about it in his diary rooms before that scene was even showed. So he understands. It's a little bit strange to see Frankie giving Zach some good advice at that point.
Yeah, no, it was Frankie. I think understands like the problem more than Zach does at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zach's going to run his mouth, but that's the way Zach's going to play the game. He's not going to stop running his mouth just because. Right? See, Zach was saying he's going to everything he says in the game is going to be a lie. That was like one of his pitches in going into the house. But he's kind of come out to been like the opposite of it. He's just like way too honest in the game.
Yeah. So then let's talk about Brittany and Devin's meeting, which was pretty wild because basically here comes Brittany, public enemy number one. Okay? The woman that we need to get out of the house more than anybody else. She's the target. She's coming for us. She sits down with Devin and basically says, Devin, I totally, get where you're coming from as a parent. And it was like, whoa, bro, what am I doing? She's a parent. How could I try to get her out of the house? She has 3 kids, bro. Dude, she's got kids. She's a parent. Bro.
Is that how it seemed that that her saying that changed it? Because that's not the way it was. Like I said, he was going to use that on her. He brought her up there so he could make the deal. They fought for like 10 minutes before he says, yeah, see, the funny thing is you're screwing yourself over because I actually brought you up here to tell you that I'm going to use the veto on you. And so he's admitted right there that he brought her up there to tell her that he used the veto on her. So he is full of it. And he's just a lie. He lies to the viewer. And if you believe his crap, you're stupid.
Basically, he tells us in the diary room later, he says, or he says in the veto ceremony, he's like, Brittany is a great person and a great player and a great mother, and I won't let a mother of 3 sit on the block. Integrity, bro. I would never let that happen on my watch, have a mother of 3 sit on the block, even though, bro, I was the one that put her there.
And then you cut to Brittany, and she's like, it's kind of like making a deal with the devil, and I know it's wrong, but whatever.
Bro, I would never ask another player to throw a competition to make a mother of 3 go on the block and then have her be there and then not take her off because that would be what has integrity, bro.
120% integrity.
All right. So Devin I thought this was super ironic also for Devin. So he tells Brittany that he got Paola to throw the competition so that they could get her on the block, and basically says to her, look, I'm telling you this because I'm trying to come clean with you, and you can't be mad at me because I'm telling you about what I did. Okay? Which, isn't that exactly what Zach said to Devin, which pissed him off so much?
Yeah, I mean, he's a walking Devin's hypocrisy is never ending, actually. But this actually, I could give him some credit here because he did plant a seed of doubt with Brittany and Paola, So Brittany just shocked by this, and even now she's like got animosity towards Paola. Maybe this is the origin of it.
Okay, so we get Devin and Zach, and here's Zach basically sleeping on the couch, and Devin comes and talks to him, and Devin is like, bro, you were walking around, you threw me under the bus, and Zach's like, look, I was just being honest with you, and Zach gets kind of resigned here. He's like, look, if you want to put me on the block, put me on the block, okay? And then Devin's like, whoa, bro, are you telling me right now you want to go home? You want to go on the block? Which that was not. Hey, I want you to put me on the block. That was like, hey, you want to put me on the block? Put me on the block. That was not, I want to go on the block. Put me on the block. It's a dare.
I dare you to put me on the block. And see, what they cut out was another great scene in which, because you saw how Devin like sent Zach away after he told him he didn't trust him. Well, Devin's trying to run around because Devin had this thing he wanted to just harass him and like make him think that there was a chance that he might not put him up on the block. And so he was just, hey, Zach, you want to go have that talk now? And Zach's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And he just like went on. And so Devin run around for a while saying, yeah, Zach's just screwed. He kept saying, I don't know what I'm going to do. That's what he was saying. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. And they'd leave, and he'd say to himself, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Zach's ass is going up on the block.
Yeah, and so Devin's like, whoa, hey, bro, I never even thought about putting you on the block before this, but now you just did Inception to me, bro, and you just put the idea to put you on the block in my own head, so you just voted yourself out of the game, bro.
Yeah, and then he goes into the diary room and tells us this fallacy about how it was like, I was never going to do that. I was never going to put him up, but he sucked his own shit. Devin, you lied to me. You can go. You can go.
You put the idea in my head, bro, and now I have to do it because you put this idea in my head, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah, so like I'm really offended when people go into the diary room and lie to me. So it's like that's the end of it. I don't care how entertaining he is. I think piss off.
You're digging your own grave, bro. You're digging it. So then Devin ends up telling us that he's going to, again, it makes no sense because he never talked about who, he told Brittany he's going to take her off the block. He never talked about who the replacement nominee was. Obviously it was Zach. But then, the show or Devin or both are trying to tell us that because of that conversation, that's when it came to him that Zach should go up on the block.
It's almost like the show is trying to change the narrative for some reason. And I think it's because they want to it's just the easiest thing to do and keep Frankie in a good edit. We are stuck with him as America's player. They're not going to bring that stuff into him about making up the stuff about Zach threatening to beat on Victoria or something.
When that all happened before this?
During. All this stuff's going down. Frankie was like completely working against Zach.
All right, well, let's see what they show us. Let's see what they show us on Thursday. I think that right now the evidence supports what you're saying, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on the amount of time that they had to fit everything in. Let's see what they show us in the Thursday show.
I highly doubt it's going to work out where they show what Frankie's involvement and all that was.
Okay, and we'll talk more about this in the live feeds in just a minute. So Devin's like, I'm gonna catch 22. I promised too many people that I was gonna take them off the block. I only got one. I wish I had two of these bad boys. But unfortunately, He only has one, and he picks Brittany to take off the block. Let's talk about these speeches. What was with Paola's dumbass speech?
You just nailed it. It was just dumbass. It was just.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a speech. It was like, let me just sit here and look good, pose.
Yeah. No, Paola. Let me say this right now: is a waste of a spot in the Big Brother house.
Yes.
So I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she's a good DJ, but she is an utter waste of a spot in the house. She is bringing
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Literally nothing to the table.
What she brings to the table is the person to put up on the block every week because you don't have to. And that's an element of the game. The person that just sucks. And they established that in the game. Like the first week she was on the block, Joey called her out for sucking.
Yeah. So she is really pretty useless right now. Brittany, what do you think of her speech? She says, I am not a threat. Okay? Basically, if somebody tells me they're not a threat, I'm pretty sure they are a threat.
Yeah, everybody's a threat, right? Especially somebody like Brittany.
Yeah.
She's playing. She's talking. She's playing. Like Pow Pow, she's just talking church with DaCosta.
Yeah. So Brittany, I think, is threatening. The problem is she doesn't really understand the game, but these people that don't really know the game, that if you give them enough time in the house, they can figure it out. Like, Big Brother is not, like, that complicated, where if Brittany, like, gets, like, a couple more weeks in the house under her belt, like, she could be dangerous.
What did you think about her saying that Paola was her target?
I think it's interesting.
It can't be, like, detrimental to her because she's still on the block, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks if she stays and wins something.
So, again, I don't think that really is her target. I think that she was just probably doing what Devin wanted to hear at that point. So,
which is a good idea.
I think that's a good idea. So they take her off the block, and then what ends up happening? So Brittany's like, "Hey, can I say something really fast?" And then they made it seem like she stopped talking, but she's gonna keep talking, and then we're just gonna pick this up on Thursday.
Yes, I don't know exactly what she said. From my understanding, she's pissed at Paola, right?
Okay.
And she's gonna call. But the big blow up is Paola. See, that sets Paola off. Paola goes after. Zach goes after Devin. Paola goes after Devin. Oh, that is all hell breaking loose.
Okay. Let's take a couple questions here about the TV show, and then we'll get into talking about the live feeds. And, of course, these Big Brother shows are going so long. They used to be like, remember last year these podcasts were like an hour long?
I just love talking about it, man. I think we just have so much fun talking about it, we just lose track of time. It don't seem long.
I wanted so bad during the week just to do one of these and just talk about the live feeds, because it was really so much stuff going on. It was very hard for me to even keep track of what was going on.
Oh, we were waiting on this the POV ceremony for days, and then it was just like we knew everything because everybody was vowing. Zach was vowing. He says he did all this on purpose. Told him he wanted to go on the block on purpose because he was going to blow it up.
Yeah. Zach, again, I like Zach, but he's kind of the king of hyperbole. You know, he's a bit of a blowhard, and I think that makes him not a good player in the game. And, you know, he just has to, like, talk half as much. Like, save it for the diary room.
He has potential. He has potential.
Yeah, he has potential, but again, like, you know, if you were to compare him with a Dr. Will or a Dan Giesling, those guys are not getting into nearly as many confrontations as he is. You know, that I know he said Boogie was his idol. Mike Boogie was not getting in as many confrontations as Zach is getting into in 2 weeks in the Big Brother house.
I don't know, maybe so. Zach has been. He has his sleep strategy. He sleeps most all of the time, but when he's been awake, he's played pretty hard. And so at times, like, the best advice for him has been go back to bed. And that's something that you don't really want your players to do, right? Because it's like you lay in bed, you're out of the loop, you don't know what's going on. But for Zach, sometimes it's just best for him to go back to bed.
Yeah. Zach's been playing too hard and really is, he's in a position where he's, playing hard maybe will help his cause when he's on the block, but he really played himself into this, and it didn't need to happen this way. Okay, let's take a couple of questions, and then we'll talk about the live feeds. Natalie Kuchik wants to say, is Cody playing the best sleeper game so far? He's barely shown in the episodes. Boy, there was a lot of people that we barely saw tonight. Just off the top of my head, people we barely saw. Jocasta, barely saw her. Cody, barely saw him. Outside of like the stuff in the beginning, the Hayden, Nicole, Christine alliance, we did not see much from. So there's a lot of people in the house that we did not see very much from.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard to like turn the camera away from Devin. I mean, it's like the thing: if the train's wrecking, you can't just turn around and look away. You have to watch it.
Yeah. Let's do a couple more. HD Gaming Universe says Victoria has another one, another person that's been invisible. Hasn't been on the show at all. What do you think of this? Do you think Devin is stealing the TV time? Yes, Devin has all the TV time.
Yeah, he's like the TV time Pac-Man.
Nom, 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 nom. Bro, I'm eating all your TV time. It's all mine. I have the most honor. I have the most integrity. I have the most TV time, and I have a daughter. So it's my show. It's called Devtopia. Hope you enjoy it, and it'll be good, but it won't be on for very long, bro.
And the alliance is over.
The alliance is over.
No, wait, it's back together, and we're adding another member.
Yeah, we're adding more people to it. Devtopia. Too much. Love Devin. He's a born competitor and a born TV star.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever, bro. You're a love-struck puppy, bro. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep going. More questions. This is from Amazing Race Know-It-All, who wants to know, Devin wants to play an honest game, so what does he not like about people being honest with him? Sometimes, Brian, the truth hurts.
No, Devin, you say Devin wants to play an honest game. He says that's what he wants to do, but then he's dishonest. So it's just like, I mean, people, we have to have some kind of level of self-awareness here, and he seems to have very little self-awareness.
Of course, yeah. Alex Wilpon wants to know, were you at all disappointed that there wasn't more of a plan behind Zach's actions this week? I hope for some revealing DRs, but we got nothing.
Yeah, so Zach did have a plan by this point. He's claiming that by basically daring Devin to put him on the block, that he wanted to go on the block so he could do this.
Did he know? Are you buying that?
I don't buy it, but it is possible that they would manipulate the story narrative just a little bit to make it seem more dire for Zach now, and then just show him come out swinging in the next episode. I think that would be more effective for entertainment purposes.
Okay. This is from Mary Cherry 123. What are your thoughts on the 2 Team America mission options? Did you have a higher expectation for what the missions would entail? Yeah, I have to say I was a little underwhelmed with what we get to do for Team America.
I don't like Team America. I didn't like anything. There's nothing they could have done to make me happy. None of the choices they would have put out there would have made me happy. So I'm not going to criticize the choices. I just don't like the twist.
Yeah. Okay. And let's do one more. We'll get to then all the live feed stuff. Has Team America already affected the game? I feel like Frankie would already be ratted out had Derek not felt like the need to be loyal to him. All right, so we'll address that when we pick up in the live feeds in just a moment. So, of course, if you want to jump in on this crazy, crazy season of the Big Brother live feeds, you can do so anytime with a free 2-day trial at robhasawebsite.com/live feeds. There are monthly. The monthly may not be a bad way to go. If you want to jump in and say, hey, I'm just going to do the monthly and hang in there for as long as Devin's in the house, that would not be a bad way to go either. You could check it out at robhasawebsite.com/live feeds. We've got an RHAP chat room as well on the live feeds where you can watch with other viewers of the show. It's a very, very fun season, and maybe the craziest live feed season since Big Brother 9. Brian, how about that?
They may need to do weekly subscriptions if you're going to base it off how long Devin's going to be in the house, not monthly.
Boy, yeah, you
These
can't.
last month.
It's must-see TV right now. With Devin in the house. Okay, let's jump into talking about the live feeds. All right, again, I've been told by Rob's Taboo Buzzer on Twitter a new buzzer is in the mail. All right, spoiler time. Here we go. All right, Brian, where do you want to pick things up with the spoiler? Actually, let's just give us big picture at this hour. Update us on the vote count right now.
Wow. It appears that they have a lot of votes to save Zach. So many that they are throwing away votes to protect people from Wrath of Devin.
Okay. At any point this week, was Zach going home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At what point did that change?
When Derek and Cody went to bat for him, really, I mean, you guys just stop and just bow down to Derek, because he's just like badass. There was something they said in this episode with Brittany being told about, cutting the deal with Devin. She comes down and talks to Derek, and he's like, well, what kind of, he said, did you make a deal with the devil? And she didn't give him anything. 10, 15 minutes later, she's spilling the whole thing because he looked at her and said, let me tell you what I know. You made a deal with Devin, and he's going to pull you off the block. And she just, like, crumbled.
Who is the best player in the game?
Without a doubt, Derek. There's nobody even close to Derek.
Nobody's close. Who's the second best player?
Oh, my God. I mean, I think Frankie's got skills. Frankie definitely has skills. Christine has lots of skills. I think it'd be between Frankie and Christine.
Okay. Interesting to see when we will see Derek's skills translate to the TV show. Because right now, he's been rather invisible. Also, has Derek lost like 20 pounds since he's been in the house?
I guess it looks like he has lost weight. But he has been wearing baggier clothes. I think he's undercover, right? So he's been borrowing caps and stuff and like dressing hip hop, one day and wearing glasses. And just putting himself in. It's really kind of brilliant. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah. It looks like he's going for the turtle from Entourage look right now.
Yeah, my main concern about him going into the season was I felt like he might have some composure issues, and it is like the opposite of that. He is the most composed person in the house, without a doubt.
Okay, well, very exciting because I know everybody's been buzzing about Derek this week in the game he's playing. So, again, we like good TV. We like good gameplay. So, very interested to follow Derek. I think he's really emerged as a big threat this week.
I think his gameplay is what got him voted into Team America, though, which is great. Obviously, we think Frankie had some fans, but Derek's gameplay got him in.
Okay, so we have Team America. Let's talk about this group of three: Derek, Donnie, and Frankie at Team America. Is Team America, are they working as a final three group at this point?
Yeah, so they made a final three immediately. However, as recently as like an hour ago, Donnie said something to Derek about how they shouldn't be trusting Frankie with non-Team America information.
Okay, so how closely are Derek and Donnie working together?
Very close now. Very close. And I mean, because of Team America. Because of Team America, they're working very close.
Okay, let's talk about the role of Frankie this week. Now, early on in the week, Frankie was one of the big people leading the charge to get Zach out of the house. Why was Frankie so anti-Zach?
Frankie has, and he's been kind of honest about this to Zach, that Zach had made it where he couldn't play a neutral game.
Right.
And he was endangering, his relationship with Zach was endangering him in the house, is the way Frankie feels.
Okay, so Frankie felt like Zach had gone, too radioactive, and he had to distance himself from him.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, people, like some of the girls in the house, started to call Zach the little Devin.
Little Devin. So, but why then, if that was the case, why would Frankie then seek shelter with Devin as his alliance member?
He wants to hide behind Devin and Caleb. That was his whole thing was about now things have like completely changed from this point, but during that time he just didn't want. He feels like Caleb and Devin are going to win every single thing, and going against them is screwing himself out of the money, which is legitimate concern.
Does Zach know that Frankie was campaigning for him to go?
Yes. Zach said, I know you were throwing me under the bus. Frankie said, I wasn't throwing you under the bus, but I wasn't doing anything to help you, which is a lie because he threw him under the bus. He made up stuff about him, supposedly threatening to hit women, and then when people would repeat it and it got like embellished upon, he would be sitting there and just smile. So he knows exactly what he was doing. He's lying to Zach. He thinks he's got him wrapped around his finger, which from the feeds it seems like he does. But however, after Zach put him on blast. Like
Frankie on blast?
Yeah, I just threw him completely under the bus. The way it was talking about all hell breaking loose, Zach throws everybody under the bus.
Okay, this is at the veto ceremony.
Yes.
All right, talk us through, from what you know, what's going to happen on tomorrow night's show?
I'm not really sure exactly what Brittany's going to I figure she's going to blow up on Paola and say something about her. I mean, of course, her throwing the competition is going to come up. And Zach's going to, I mean, they probably won't show. Zach kind of attacked Devin personally, brought his medication into it. Paola, and of course, told him he was a bad father, you know, the things we had discussed on previous podcasts. Paola, for some reason, jumps in on him too and starts telling him how horrible father he is, or talking about.
Well, how does anybody? First off, how does anybody know what kind of father Devin is? Like, we know Devin as how he is as a Big Brother player, and he's a terrible Big Brother player. But what do any of us know the first thing about with Devin being a dad?
I mean, they're low blows, but remember, Zach had this plan he was talking about this plan of getting Devin to hit him, and that was the thing he was going to tell him to get. And from what we hear, from what Devin says, he pretty much sat there the whole time and didn't react, which I believe him. You know, I've never thought he was the type of guy just to snap on someone physically.
Yeah.
He does have composure. He just doesn't have any common sense.
Who's the better player, Zach or Cody?
Cody. I mean, yeah. Zach is like middle of the pack right now. The thing about Zach, though, that's promising is that Derek went to bat for him, and that Derek has been, like, since that moment, Derek has been teaching him step-by-step instructions on how to campaign, how to lie.
Why?
So he could stay. It's bad for Zach to leave. Why is it bad for Zach to leave?
Right.
Because Zach's not going to turn on him. And Paola is just going to do everything with Devin because of the deal.
I feel like Derek has the Team America thing. Like, I don't know why it would be bad for, like, I just feel like that Zach would be a loose end for Derek, where Zach is just another person he has to worry about. Paola stinks. She's not ever going to be able to put anything together in the game. Why not let Zach go home this week? He's got Frankie. He's got Donnie. That eventually Devin and Caleb are going to implode at some point. Like, why not just take a threat off the board while he can right now?
Listen, Rob, the wild Zach is a rare creature. You don't vote him out because he is the only one not scared shitless of Devin. He's the one going after Devin. Everybody's like, and it pisses Devin off. The house. So I don't care what happens. If it pissed Devin off that Paola would stay, they'd switch their votes immediately.
Yeah, I just feel like if I was Derek, though, like I wouldn't be like bending over backwards to keep Zach around, because I know that eventually There's just no possible way Devin, the Devin thing could keep going for much longer. It's just going to implode on its own. So I don't think you need to keep Zach around. And I feel like that Derek is so good that he'll be fine no matter what happens. And I don't think he needs Zach necessarily.
They think that America is probably on Zach's side too.
Okay.
So I mean, it's Donnie was talking to Frankie was basically explaining to them that the reason he wanted Zach gone was because he didn't want Caleb and Devin coming after him. And Donnie looked at him and said, Team America shouldn't be scared of anybody. And then later on, Hayden was talking to Christine and Nicole and just looked at him and said, y'all know if we vote Zach out, America's going to think we're a bunch of bitches. And if that was the point, I knew it was over. Zach's going to at least have a chance to stay.
Okay, let's talk about Hayden bringing in getting brought into the bomb squad.
Okay, well, basically, Hayden was drug up to the HOH room by Devin, and while Caleb was standing over Hayden, and Frank was kind of like in the background, and Devin was sitting just kind of squared up in front of Hayden and told him that, he offered him to come into the bomb squad. And then Hayden didn't give him an answer, and he's like, so what you're saying is no? And he's like, no, I'm not saying no. So basically, he expanded the bomb squad, one more member. In his mind, back to 8, like he's replacing Zach. He's Zach's replacement. So the fact that Zach had exposed the bomb squad to Hayden at this point, during that whole post-nomination, after his nomination, now that Hayden's in the bomb squad, he says, well, I never exposed the bomb squad because the only person I told was Hayden, and he's in the bomb squad. And so now that Devin's the one ever exposed the bomb squad to all the girls trying to get the votes against Zach, Zach's saying he's the one that exposed the bomb squad.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about the revelation to Devin that Zach is going to stay. How does that come about, and then what's the fallout from that?
Okay, so Caleb's vote was like the last to fall. So Derek pretty much had just kind of secured Caleb's vote, and then Caleb had said that he was going to bring along Amber's vote, and then Derek had went to Zach and told him that. And so Frankie gets into the mix and hears about it, and Derek basically tells him or suggests that he tell Devin. And so Frankie told Devin that it looks like Zach has the votes to stay.
Okay. And then how does Devin react to that?
Oh, well, I mean, in classic Devin fashion, I mean, he's kind of mopey. There's a little bit more mopey attitude about it, but he finally just says, of course, the bomb squad's over again. He's not in. He's out. If Zach's back in, he's out.
I'm out, bro. Look, dudes, I told you to pick either Zach or me, and if I'm not in the bomb squad, then I'm out. Later, bro.
Peace out.
Peace out, bro. I'm going to Planet Utopia, and none of you were invited.
Yeah, but Frankie's still in good with Devin. So, I mean, and I've heard Devin say that he trusts Frankie the most. So, maybe all of Frankie's concerns about everything and making it and framing it up so he would still be on their side is kind of working. But I don't see it. Like, he has to be exposed. He talked to too many people.
Is Frankie playing the Andy game, and is he doing it well?
He's trying to play the Andy game. He's not doing it well.
Okay. Do you think that at what point do you think Frankie will get caught up?
I mean, I think he's caught up now. I mean, I think no matter what Zach's telling him, I think Zach has to know that. I think Zach's gone. I think Zach, even though he's gonna tell him he loves him and hug him and do whatever you want to throw me under the bus, I'm gonna give you my vote. I don't think that. I hope not. I hope Zach's not still 100% behind Frankie. He'll just look like a bitch.
Okay. Do you think that if there was a Derek in Big Brother 15, Andy could have done what he did?
I mean, that is an impossible question. I mean, that is so hard. I would think that Derek has the Derek. No. Derek. Andy would do this at the beginning of the scene. We're like, how is he going to do this? How are people going to let him do this? And he just did it. He was just running into every conversation all day long, break up conversations, start conversations, all over the place at the same time. Derek would have surely spotted that. But Derek's kind of in a situation where he's in a house with a bunch of idiots. And so he's going to look better than he might if he was in a house full of all-stars, you think?
Well, are you saying that Big Brother 15 was a house full of all-stars?
No, but hey, comparing to what I'm seeing this summer, yes.
Interesting, because I feel like this season is more top-heavy with people who are. I think you have some really good game players this season, and then a lot of people who don't know what they're doing.
I just felt like the level, maybe it's just a more cerebral game. Last season.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I like, and it's something that people call boring a lot. But that, I mean, we've talked about it before. I don't necessarily view that as boring.
Yes. So then, what is Devin doing now that he finds out that the bomb squad is voting against him?
He's done. He's just done. Actually, he goes to the girls, basically everybody that's not bomb squad, and starts trying to wrangle votes to get Zach out. So I mean, he ain't quitting. He's
what
still
about
going
exposing the bomb squad?
Oh, he's exposed the bomb squad. He exposed the bomb squad to Brittany.
Wait, whoa, back up, Brian. You just said that Devin is exposing the bomb squad. That I have on good authority that he said that he would never expose the bomb squad. Obviously, you must be mistaken.
Right, and honor, integrity, and he has a daughter. He'll never expose the bomb squad because he has that integrity. Right?
Now, was it? I'll never expose the bomb squad as long as they do what I say.
I'll never expose the bomb squad. I'm exposing the bomb squad. Don't question what I just said, or I'm going to come after you.
Okay. Let's see. Let's bounce around a couple of things. Tell me about the Flaming Queens.
The Flaming Queens is Frankie's little alliance with Jocasta, Victoria,
Frankie's Angels,
and Paola. I don't know. That's why it's got to be a bad omen if you're aligning with somebody that at the time is thought to be going out the door. You're making an alliance. So I don't. It's nothing. It's a joke.
Okay. Tell me about Devin's love of Brittany suddenly.
I thought you were going to say, tell me about Devin's butt pickles.
No, if you can combine both into one update, I think we should do it.
All right, so basically, Devin has started claiming that he's just in love, madly in love with Brittany, and so he takes her.
Like Russell Hantz?
What? You have to explain that to me.
Russell Hantz is in love with Brittany. He's been tweeting nonstop about his love for Brittany.
I guess so. So yeah, they are kind of. He's got a Hantz-like crush on Brittany, and he took her some pickles, and said that he didn't have any flowers to take her. And she was telling somebody about this later on, and she said, "Well, he probably shoved them up his butt." So there's Devin's butt pickles. She don't want none of Devin's butt pickles.
Do we have any reason to believe that Devin would put the pickles into the planet Uranus?
No, but I'm sure there's a lot of butt pickles on Devtopia.
Oh no. Is that the official food on Devtopia?
I wish it was a have-not supplement. Devin's butt pickles.
What food would you like to see voted into the House? Vote A for butt pickles. Vote B for
sauce.
All right, we don't need to go any further. So now tell me about is Devin stalking Brittany with the spy cam?
Yes. Yes. No. I got to say this to begin with. I said that Devin is scared of Zach. Devin is scared of Zach. He will not come out of the HOH room after this veto ceremony. So I was like, yeah, he's just hiding up there. But then I get this shot of him, and he's like staring at this. He's spy camming the whole time and watching Brittany.
And Brittany, does she have any reciprocal interest in Devin, or she hates him?
From everything that I've seen, she hates him. However, when he exposed the bomb squad to her, she kind of warmed up to him because it kind of it weakened her trust in Derek, which is basically the biggest flaw, the biggest thing wrong that's happened to Derek this week.
Because Devin exposing the bomb squad to Brittany made Brittany question her trust to Derek.
Yeah, because she thought Derek was being completely open and honest with her, and Derek's in the bomb squad. Now,
Okay.
the big story now is that, that was a one-week deal for the safety, and they just renewed it for another week or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let's bounce around this a little bit more. So tell me about Christine and Frankie manipulating the votes for Thursday.
All right, so basically, they started talking about Frankie's told Zach that he's not voting for him, so because he wants to keep safe face with Devin. And Christine's been involved in this conversation. Team America's been involved in the conversation. I think Donnie was mentioned as one that might throw his vote off just because he don't want to upset Paola. Paola gave him a necklace, right?
Yeah.
With headphones on it or something. So maybe Donnie's going to throw that vote. The way they're trying to orchestrate a 7-5 vote, which is really, really risky. I'm super relieved that Frankie's not one of the votes listed as a key. So,
okay.
What is that? Is that music? I heard music there.
No music. No music. Please, house guests, no music.
Please stop singing.
Please stop singing. Yes. All right. So then, what else do we need to know for Thursday?
I don't know. I just kind of zoned out right there.
Okay.
We're talking about the vote, the 7-5 vote. So yeah, the votes actually could be more, and it's kind of scary that it comes down to 7-5 because if it's 6-6, Devin votes Zach out.
Yeah, that seems like we're one hinky vote away from big problems for Zach.
Exactly, and Derek has went to Zach and told him that there's that that there is some danger in the vote, basically.
Yeah.
So Zach's kind of scared now when he thought 100% that he had like all the votes. Maybe 12 hours ago.
Okay. Let's see. The whole thing with Devin and Brittany, it's almost like is Devin planning like some sort of like a Brady Bunch type romance with Brittany for after they get out of the house of like, okay, here's the story of a guy named Devin who was bringing up a daughter of his own, and then Brittany, she has 3 kids also.
Yes, I really feel like the reason that he's saving her is, he said the reason he's nominating Zach is because he was accused of being negative towards women. And remember some of the things that Zach did say a whole bunch of stuff about Victoria. We've discussed that already. But he didn't say that he was going to rip her tongue out and stuff people were saying. So Devin has said that the reason he put Zach up was to distract from that. So I figure he's probably had questions about his treatment of women in the diary room.
Okay. And then tell me about Nicole giving a shout out to our friend Ian Terry.
Oh, well, she says, I'm going to start kicking. She just started kicking herself in the head. And something on that did make the show, I think, Ian kicking himself in the head. So, yeah, she kicked herself in the head and was giving a shout out to Ian. You got to know that Ian's loving it.
Okay. All right. So we are going to have Ian Terry with us on Thursday night and Matt Hoffman. It's going to be a jam-packed show. Let's do a couple of questions real quick, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Okay. Here is Matthew Moore. Wants to know, has Team America already affected the game? I feel like Frankie would not be ratted out had Derek not felt the need to be loyal to him. So is Team America helping Frankie because Derek, like we said, is on to Frankie? If it was not for Team America, would Derek have exposed him already?
Anything that you can make up in your head that's a possibility is probably true. Team America is outside intrusion into the game. Immediate Final 3 was formed. These people wouldn't be as close as they are if it wasn't for this. basically what they were told was they're the 3 most popular people in the house.
Yeah.
Which that affects the game. They
Yeah.
think. One thing that Derek's been doing is, I think he was playing it real smart though, going to Donnie and Frankie and saying that we're they voted for us because we're the most honest people, which he's basically lying about that, obviously, because they ain't the most honest people. And Frankie knows Frankie has to know that it was his sister's, fans that got him in there. Maybe maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had read that Victoria was singing one of the Ariana Grande songs right in front of Frankie and was like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with her."
I thought it was Frankie was. I read this. I thought it was Frankie was humming the song, and she said, "Oh my God, I love that song. I love Ariana Grande."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Regardless,
he's not exposed.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, let's take a couple more questions. The Legal Hipster says, do you think that the girls this season will finally see through the lies and deceit and go after the boys?
As a group? No.
No, I stop with the girls' alliance and the boys' alliance because, I talked to Joey the other day, and you could hear that interview on Rob as a podcast. And I feel like Joey was like making, I feel like that she was making a point of like, that the girls' alliance, the girls need to come together and blah 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 blah. Just stop with the same sex alliance. Like the problem is making an alliance with 7 people in it, whether it's boys or girls in the first week of Big Brother. So surely, if a group of smart women came together, there's nothing about the game of Big Brother that would prevent women from working together. June and Allison in Big Brother 4 went to the end. So it's not suicide to make a women's alliance. It's suicide to make a big, alliance of anything early on in the game. The Brigade only worked because those guys were good players. Chilltown only worked because those guys were good players. The Renegades worked because Dan Giesling is a really good player, and Memphis was not a slouch. So it has nothing to do with the difference between men versus women.
Yeah, those were all guy alliances, but they weren't all alliances of every guy in the house, right? These girls come in and they're like, oh well, let's get every girl into this alliance, and what happens like on day 2 when you realize female Donnie's in your alliance, or female, not Donnie, but female Devin's in your alliance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
you're screwed.
Don't make this.
And then it's just going to grow.
Yeah. Okay. A mile away says, I feel like the target on Devin's back has gotten so huge that it's almost invisible. Do you think that people would rather keep him to take targets off of their back? So is it a good idea to keep Devin around because as long as Devin's in the house, nobody will ever worry about you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, Devin might be worrying about you if he's in the house. I mean, do you want to take that risk of becoming the object of Devin's butt pickle desire?
I'm fascinated to see what, with Devin not in power this week, what he will be. I have a feeling he'll be a shell of himself this upcoming week.
Since he's been hiding in his HOH room, since the veto ceremony, I figure he's going to isolate himself in another room, probably the have-not room, most likely.
If Caleb is not the HOH this upcoming week, I think that we're going to see a dramatically different Devin on the verge of a breakdown, even more. Like, he was on the verge of a breakdown when he was in power. If he is out of power this upcoming week, he is going to be a complete train wreck and even more of a mess.
Caleb might backdoor Devin. Caleb blames Devin for everything, for putting Zach up. Zach was in their alliance. Caleb is big on integrity, That's why he's probably aligned with Devin to begin with, because Devin's always pushing integrity. And then when Devin shows Caleb that his word is trash, and then he put his alliance member on the block, Caleb's not happy with Devin.
Should Caleb be mad at Devin that if this was any other season and Devin was not in the house, wouldn't Caleb be the one that we were talking about that, oh, Caleb, he's so he's a loose cannon. He's out of control. And Caleb is almost like the normal one now.
I think if Devin's not in the house, Caleb's going this week.
Yeah, I think so. That we would be totally the show. This would be Caleb's show if it wasn't for Devin. But no,
If it wasn't for
sorry.
Devin, I mean, I'm serious. I think Caleb would leave this week if Devin wasn't in the house.
Probably. All right. A couple more questions. Dawn S wants to say, can you tell what Frankie is really trying to do? Does he want Zach out? Are people starting to catch on to how much information he shares with everybody? What is Frankie's real alliance, Brian?
Frankie's real alliance is Frankie. He don't even trust Team America. They don't trust him. He don't trust Zach. Zach kind of trusts him. He thinks he can control Zach. Zach has guaranteed Frankie his vote to win the game. And Zach, but the part of Zach's campaign was like, "You're an idiot if you don't take me to jury and put me in jury. I want you to win. I love you. Hug you, kiss you."
Yeah. Bobby Kelly in the chat room says, Caleb will leave before Devin. Brian, agree or disagree? Caleb will leave before Devin.
I mean, I disagree because the number of people going after Caleb is lower than the number of people that want to backdoor Devin. And Devin cannot be HOH next week, and Caleb can.
I think this is going to be a fascinating HOH competition this week. What you think it's an endurance comp tomorrow night?
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I didn't think that it can't be.
Are they practicing anything? Any sense of what the HOH competition is Thursday?
No. Oh, actually, they gave them trackers of some sort. I mean, I didn't really get much about this, like personal trackers or some kind of device that's on their person.
Like
so
a
I don't know. They've been low jacked for sure. I don't really know what all that's about. I didn't see much about it, but maybe it has something to do with the thing. You know, the comp. Who knows?
Gun to your head. Who is the HOH tomorrow night?
Gun to my head. Disarm you. Caleb's HOH.
Caleb is the HOH. Is Cody due?
Zach. No. Zach is HOH. Zach is HOH.
If Zach is HOH, Devin goes home. Is Zach out the next week?
That's a danger.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. I think Caleb would be the next target. See, because Caleb just getting rid of Devin is doesn't weaken Caleb all that much because he is aligned with Amber. They are working together. And
Zach needs to go back to sleep, go back into the scenery a little bit. He's way too much on everybody's radar right now.
You want him to throw the HOH. I think that's it. I mean, you got to. But since he's taking instruction from Derek, and he owes Derek big time, he will do what Derek says, I believe. I think he has to. It's just because if he don't, Derek's going to be like, well, I'm not getting the reciprocation that I needed. Derek is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. If he's got his claws in you and you don't do what he says, that's going to be bad for your game.
Like, it's July 9th. It's July 9th. Like, on a lot of seasons of Big Brother, the game is starting now. Like, there's more than 2 months left in the game. Like, Zach needs to, his game's at like a 13 right now. He needs to go back down to about a 3.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, it's just gonna it's like we love watching what Devin's up to, I guess. But it's horrible game. What we see from tomorrow's episode, I mean, if it does any justice, it is just going to be great. Everybody's going to love Zach, unless they show that stuff about him, personally attacking Devin, which I figure they'll edit out.
Yeah, actually, can I ask you about an interesting thing that I saw today? So somebody posted a clip in the Rob is a Podcast patron group that I saw today, which was basically production was overheard talking about Zach. And the clip was basically, they were talking about how he broke his microphone, and one of the producers was talking about, like, oh, now I hate him even less. Do you think that production dislikes Zach?
I think so. I think
Why?
that's... No.
Isn't he good?
No. Zach is... First impression, Zach is dislikable. That's his thing. He insults you, and then he smooths you back over and wins you over. And then you have more trust in him than you normally would have had because maybe, I don't know, that he was honest with you, or he was joking around. I don't know what his charm is with this, but it did not work on Devin whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's set up the board one more time. Thursday, live, 10:15 p.m., we will be with Ian Terry and Matt Hoffman. We will be talking about the new HOH. We will be talking about the departure, probably, of Pow Pow. That's going to be live right here on RHAP.com. On Friday morning, I will speak with the second player evicted from Big Brother, either Pow Pow or Zach. That is going to be not live. That's going to be recorded on Friday morning. I'll have that up for you guys probably by about 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And then we do it all again on Sunday night. We're going to be speaking with Adam Pock. Said, hey, you got to get me on. I gotta talk about this season. We're going to check in with Adam on Sunday Night Live, 9:15 p.m. For another week as we march onward into week 3 of Big Brother 16.
Well, in honor of Adam Pock coming on, I'm going to go eat some bacon and watch some Beverly Hills 90210.
No, watch the feeds, Brian. We need you watching the feeds. No, absolutely not. That's what we need you right now. Up until Devin leaves. Then you could take a day off once Devin is gone.
I was just trying to be clever. You know I'm watching the feeds.
Okay, that's right. All right. So then, of course, if you're in the LA area, it's going to be a very, very fun night, July 20th. We're going to do our live Rob as a Podcast taping with Brendan and Rachel at the Hollywood Improv. Hope you can join us there for that. That's going to be a fun night as well. So a lot to do. We love hearing from you guys in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, please leave us your comments and like and favorite the videos as well. Helps more and more people find the show. All right, Brian, have a great night. Rest up for tomorrow. We will be back with more Rob Has a Podcast. And take care, everybody. Have a great night.